Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode here on the Hermitcraft Matified server in Minecraft 1.10. Check it out, everything is shiny and brand spanking new. Or maybe not, because we didn't really get a lot of new stuff in this update. It was a small and sweet update, which was cool. I am in no way complaining, I like it. But nothing big and obvious and in your face like dual wielding, you know. Haven't got anything like that, so I was just looking around and I was thinking, it just feels like the same game. But we do have some new blocks, of course, and one of those is the bone block, so check it out. There it is. We're going to be building with this because the plan is to work on the passive mob farm, to hopefully finish it, and to do some building around it as well. And that'll definitely involve using some of the new blocks. So we've got loads of bones from our farm down below, and we've got loads of stuff in this chest, so we can make the bone blocks, that's no problem, but we do need some nether warts as well. And check it out, we've got a creeper in the base. How on earth has this guy got in here? I was walking around in this area just a moment ago, so glad I spotted you. And you may have noticed just behind this guy as well, over there, we got a new chandelier. And I didn't really like the one that we had before, and I asked for suggestions. I got a tweet from Twosome Benson with this lovely design right here. I came onto the server, built it, and went, yep, that is the design. That is this little room right here. Finished, it looks amazing. And yeah, that's that. So down here, we're using this space to make a temporary netherwart farm, and it looks like some of these have finished growing and need replanting, because we got our bones sorted out for the bone block. We need some netherwarts for the netherwart bricks and for the netherwart block as well. And so we've set up this farm. And when it comes to the magma block, we're going to have to do some exploring in the nether, which might mean travelling a long way out to find some new areas of the nether to get those blocks. But I want to use all 4 blocks in our builds at the passive mob farm. But anyway, before we head over there, let's go check out the nether hub. There's been some changes there. And I do want to mention that this is my first episode that I'm recording since I'm back from Download Festival. And I know there will be comments asking, how was Download Festival? Like, tell us about it. And what I'm going to do is talk about it in a live stream. So I'll put a link in the description box down below to that live stream, and then you can hear about all the funny shenanigans and things that happened at Download. And if you'd like to read about my favourite moments of Download, or at least the favourite bands that I watched, then there'll be a blog post, because I do a music blog where I talk about music and records I listen to, and I made a little post over there. So this episode isn't about Download or anything like that anymore. If you want to hear about that, then description box is the place to go and look. Anyway, check out this place. It looks absolutely amazing. And I'm just looking at it and thinking it looks so good now, but the roof could really add so much more as well. So we're going to have another spectacular nether hub. Maybe one of the best ones we've ever had. I do like where this is going. And there's not too much to tell you about it other than what we're looking at. Things are slowly being changed. These are going to be reserved for tunnels. So I've reserved one for our passive mob farm over here. Is that it? There you go. And I've reserved one over here where something hasn't been built yet. This is for our blaze farm. Can I has dibs on entrance here? Amazing use of English language. And also I've put one aside over here for our witch farm, which is a project we'll be working on in the future. But before we start, you know, doing new projects, we need to at least finish 1 or 2 of our current ones. And the passive mob farm is going to be it. So I'm going to head over there and we're going to hopefully get that one finished in this episode. So the entrance to a potential nether tunnel that you just saw back in the hub was at Y89, which is where we are at right now. I've put a new portal in here over at the passive mob farm, and my thinking is that our tunnel was going to be flat all the way back to the nether hub. But that might not be the best way to do it, because we over here are at Y16, and if you know something about the history of nether portals syncing, there was an update where they decided to make them synchronize on the y-axis as well, which is height. And that just means, because our nether portal is at 89, which would be above the sky there in the nether, and our other portals are down here, that they're both of them are most likely going to link to the same one. By the way, this little tunnel, can't remember if I've shown you or not, this is going to be like the entrance to the passive mob farm. You are going to go into this portal down here. It's going to serve as an AFK spot that's a fair distance away from this, and then there'll be another portal to send the animals through to the other side. If we were to use the same one, things would get pretty chaotic, and we're about to set that up actually. And as some of you have pointed out in my video, there is no water on this level. That's just something that happened when I was speed building this, so we're not going to worry about that right now. What we're actually going to do is go through here, and is it me, or wasn't there animals on this level last time we were here? Maybe it was the level below. Let's have a quick check again. I can see some at the far end down there. At this level, Oh, look at that. There's plenty of them. Just not on the middle level. So, okay, let's not worry about that. What we actually need to do, though, and I don't know why I've decided to go through the middle level, probably because there was water that need doing, and over there as well, apparently. What I want to do is go down to the bottom and light all three of these up. Now, some of the animals are going to go through, and that's absolutely fine. We are just doing some testing here at the moment. So let's get all three lit up, and then we're going to go through ourselves. And one of the piggies has gone through. It just occurred to me that we've got to test this 3 times over, I think. Oh, it could be a little bit worse than that, actually. Alright, so you piggies have gone... Oh, you've actually gone to the correct place. That's really pleasing. Yeah, so let's go back through to this one. Okay, and this one's going to go through to the correct place. Amazing. And let's also see what happens when we go back through the other one in the Nether. But here's what I'm thinking. I reckon when you go through a portal, it's going to take the coordinates of where you go through and try and find the other one on the other side. So if you're standing at this bit of the portal, or this bit of the portal over here, it could actually go to something different on the other side if you have 2 portals nearby. Does that make sense? Because although it's one portal as a whole, when you go through it in different locations, you're sort of in a different location. So there are 3 different heights, you know, varying widths all the way across to test. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we run into some problems. Let's drop down to the bottom and do this corner over here. I'm going to test this like so many times, but just wanted to let you know what exactly is going on. So, wow, we're taking some sort of damage, but we're down at this one again. Horsey, I am so sorry. There's nothing I could do for you, really. Maybe could have removed some blocks, but he was trapped inside obsidian. Also, got to be careful doing that. There might be lava that pours down onto these guys. Unfortunately, these chaps will be slaughtered. They're here for the testing, which is cruel, but I mean, this is the cruelest farm you can make in Minecraft, right? Poor innocent mobs, they never hurt anyone, and now they're being farmed for pork chops and all sorts of things. So yeah, anyway, right, let me do my testing. Let's make sure that this portal setup is going to work, because we're going to have tons and tons of passive mobs come through this one, and we don't want them coming through the one that we use as an entrance to the farm. So we are all clear, good to go. There is one oddity that I don't think we'll be able to avoid that I want to show you. If we come over here at the far side at the highest point, and bear in mind I've done this at the opposite end of the farm, this doesn't happen, but... Okay, sod's law, this time it decides not to do it. It's dropped me in, it made me take a whole bunch of damage. What it would do every time is it would spawn me inside that obsidian block and the block above it, which is really odd, like outside of the portal itself. And the only modification I've made, I guess, is adding these trapdoors and digging this space down below. But apparently that's good enough. And yeah, the idea here is that the animals will then walk out and fall down into this area below. We may need trapdoors on the other side as well. I think this is something that got patched a while back, that they see this sort of as a block, but not as a block that they would walk off unless there's one on the other side. So anyway, that's how we're going to catch them. And also what I've been doing is making this thing a little bit bigger each time that I come through. So it's gotten taller, it's gotten wider, and every time except when I'm recording I end up in that little top bit right there. So this is going to have some inefficiency. There's going to be animals that get killed coming through the portal, but it's a farm for killing animals, so it really doesn't matter in my opinion at this point. This thing is going to do a great job. So now it is time for us to move on to the redstone. Man, it has gotten noisy in here now because of these portals. But anyway, we're going to do the redstone in 3 easy to understand phases, I do believe. The first one is adding in a delay, which I've actually gone and done. I've sussed this out. We need 7 repeaters. So we used to have 3 going across here. Now they go back in like that. And the demonstration is pretty straightforward. If I break the redstone here, we shall see some of the water extend. When that one finishes, the next one starts. Oh, I've got a problem here, haven't I? Aha, I think I know what the problem is. It's powering it from down below. That's not very good. Let's go and replace that. Well, I guess I'll investigate that and see if we can fix it. I'm going to guess that's probably not going to be it. I was thinking, man, this is all going straightforward and smooth. And then we run into that. So basically, all of the water will disappear before the next one will start, as you saw right there. So, delay circuit modified, and that has solved the problem. We are no longer powering these blocks, or the ones above them, on the end here. So the pistons work as intended. And for the second phase of this redstone, what we need is a signal length that is long enough for all of these to extend, for the water to go out to the end, and then for them to retract again. And that's exactly what we've done with this signal over here. So we're using a comparator clock. I don't think it's actually a clock, is it? It's basically we're using signal strength and slowly decaying it so that our output over here stays off for longer. Off or on. It's all sort of the same thing with redstone, you just invert the signal 9 times out of 10. So let's see this in action. The first wave of water goes over, then the second wave after this one has finished, that's why we've got the delay over there, and then the third one as well, and then when that one's done, this signal then, you know, runs out and they all retract. So one thing happens at a time each time. The water goes out, the water goes out, the water goes out, and it goes in. So now what we need is a master clock to control all of this. And what this clock is going to do is simply activate them one by one. So this one will go, then when that one's done, it will be the one above, and this one, then on the opposite side. So only at one time is water going to be either going across and back in again. So this clock that we're going to build to activate all of these sequentially should also be really easy. So we built this massive farm and the redstone is turning out to be quite simple. I said that there would be 3 steps to this, and actually there's like a step between number 2 and 3. What I've realised is that we want a clock that just controls one side then the other, because then we can use an EFO hopper clock and things are very simple. So what we're doing is reducing 6 inputs to 2 by making it so that when the bottom one is activated, it will automatically activate the one above it, and then that one will automatically do the one above that as well. So what we have is this redstone torch here to transfer the signal upwards. We have a delay circuit so that this activates after this one is finished. So let's power it. Our hopper clock would power this one first, and then all of the water is going to flow out down to the end, then it's all going to retract as well, and at some point we should see something happen here, like it starts to power again. There you go, it's powering again, and as the last bit of water disappears, boom, there it goes, then the next water on the next level starts. And so that makes things so much simpler for us, doesn't it? Because this is going to go all the way around to the top. Then when that one's done, that's when our hopper clock would be timed to then activate the other side. So now all we need is a simple hopper clock. Okay, then this is it. This should be pretty simple to look at and understand. The hopper clock is going to send a signal to one side, then after a while it'll send it to the other one, and that's it. And in order to turn this thing on and off, I guess we could just power something here and disable this clock temporarily. And because the signal goes through one of these, it means that each time it makes its way to either side, you know, the thing runs its course. It's not going to get stuck with the water out, which is really good. So that's kind of it. And I've opened up the wall here. I'm thinking we're going to decorate this room at some point so you can look into the redstone, which I like because it's big and fancy. There's loads of stuff flashing. It looks cool. And this thing is obviously off by a block, but you know, it doesn't really matter because it is even. And the width of the room is odd. By the way, the amount of items going into this is just under 2 stacks. I took away 8 blocks, and that makes the timing very precise. So when the water finally finished getting removed on one side, then the next side fires up. So this place isn't too laggy when you're hanging out over here. And a sheep came back through this portal. That's going to happen from time to time, you know. Yeah, I've noticed though that lots of pigmen are being created, so it kind of flushes them back in after a while, which is cool. Now that portal shouldn't synchronise with this one. I mean, this is a success. Look at that, loads of animals, and I've been playing mostly when other people are on as well. So I imagine Tango's in the Nether though. So not expecting the best rates, and what we've got to do is jump from here to there. So why didn't it synchronise with that one? All the times I use it, and now it decides it doesn't want to synchronise with it. Either way, yeah, we've got loads of animals here. We need to start developing some sort of slaughtering system. For now, I'm going to let them hang out here in the Nether. What we're going to focus on next is getting the base area and the redstone sort of finalised, because there's these gaps around the outside. And what I want to do is build up the walls and make them look pretty eventually. But we will focus on this down here level at the moment. So I'm going to build up some walls all the way around, just try and make things look a little bit tidier at the bottom. So this is a slow and tedious progress filling in this area, so I thought I'd give you a little bit of an insight as to what's going on. Over on this side we've dug away by 2, where we only need 1, so I'm filling the back up with stone bricks, and I decided to use sandstone in this area down here. I feel like the yellow just easily mixes with the other colours and looks okay. Now these blocks don't actually need to be there. As I'm going around, I'm finding out that I've done some bits a little bit incorrect. So, for example, those are actually supposed to be glass. So, this is how it looks on this bit over here. And what we're going to do is bring the sandstone all the way up to the same height as the glass. And then we're going to have a trim of andesite going all the way around the edge. Then we'll be ready to build something else going further up above. And we've also got to decorate this area over here. And, of course, this part as well. So, job done, and you know, there's not too much to look at. You can see the yellow of the sandstone over on that side, and little bits of it here and there. Over on this side, though, is probably where we're going to have the biggest difference, and at the moment, our entrance from this area is right here, and I think we might do the same thing over here, have a little entrance on top. However, it's going to lead directly on top of some redstone, so I'm not sure how we're going to make the entrance of this area work, but I got some ideas. And then down here is probably where we'll see the biggest difference. Yeah, you can sort of see lots of sandstone back there. It all looks good. It's nothing too much to marvel at, but it's nice and clean, which is cool. So now we're going to focus on this room back here, and this is where we're going to use the 1.10 blocks, which I said earlier in the video is what I wanted to do. So I've been farming some nether warts. So I brought with me some nether bricks as well, so we can make those blocks. And we've got the bone ones, and what is the other one? The magma block, and I think Rendog has set up a shop for that. So we are going to actually head back over to the shopping district and see if we can buy any of these. Man, I love this server. Just wherever you go, things are happening, and it gets cooler and cooler. I was just looking around, I was thinking, man, this is so cool. Little hermit heads in the ground to show you where everyone is located at. Headed over here. Obviously, there's a lot more hermits in the blue area. So you can see everyone's location sort of relative to one another. And looking over on this side, I then noticed this flying head up in the sky. Because, of course, Mumbo has his base up in the sky. And it is just hilarious to have a little floating Mumbo head there. And then, yeah, it caught my eye that some of the hermits are actually... There's Jevin, actually in this room. Oh, yeah, and of course, Jevin's base is over at the back of the yellow area. That's where he's got his castle. So there's Joe, Cleo, and Biffa. There's Wells Knight. I think they might sort of be a little bit related to different areas here. Yeah, like I'm sort of next to mine a little bit. Oh yeah, Python needs to be put down in this area. But he's up there on the wall. There's Zuljin. There's Cubfan with diamond armor. Awesome. Yeah, I might have to go up there and customize my one a little bit. Add some other things to it. This is so cool. This Nether Hub's amazing. Anyway, distractions. Distractions everywhere. Just heading over to the brown district. We're going to restock it with some stone and cobble because those things have actually been selling. And a present for a fellow log fella. Check this out. Rendog has supplied us with 2 stacks of magma blocks. What a great guy. That is fantastic. I was literally about to go over there and buy some, but we should still head into the district, see what's going on with the shops, and check out Ren's new shop as well. I can see it from here, and I'm thinking, that is right in the middle of many other shops. Where has he found the space to squeeze that in? But as we approach here, you can see things are changing. The iBooks store has been revamped. There is a giant floating eye in it, which looks seriously cool. And Ren has these things sticking out of his base. Now, they catch your attention from afar, but it's not until you get closer that they make sense. And these are actually extremely cool. I've been thinking about putting some of these, there you go, on some of my shops as well. Wow! Oh yeah, that is fantastic! As I'm approaching here, it's just sort of occurred to me how cool this looks. Was there something here before? Is this literally just squeezed into a little space? Yeah, I think it's been squeezed in. Yeah, so anyway, these signs are really good because you can read them, they stick out, you can see them from afar, and I like how they're colour-coded as well, you know, everything's slightly different there. But we have the magma block shop, and very cool looking shop, I like it. Very simple stuff going on the inside. 5 diamonds per stack, wow. And Ren has gifted me 2. Has he actually filled up all of these chests? No, he's partially filled them. Man, this guy's been on an expedition. And look at that, he's already got a customer. I'm going to buy just a couple more stacks here. They are quite pricey, and I fancy going on an adventure myself. So I think for now we'll pick up an additional 2 stacks. So check this out. It was some time ago that we set up this cobble and stone shop. There were people talking about it in the Skype chat, and then I didn't get any sales for quite some time. But now, check that out. Quite a lot. 11 in there. Let's dump in all of this stone and cobble. I think the price is like 8 stacks for 1 diamond, so we're not trying to turn a big profit here. It's just fun to trade and help out the other hermits as well. And I believe that is all of the diamonds. So the deal is that False gets 10%, and since I'm only I haven't got 20 diamonds. We'll give her 2 anyway, you know, just making a small collection here. I do believe Force is actually down in this area. There you go. There she is. Let's chuck these diamonds at her. And in good timing, she, of course, leaves the game. So maybe we won't do that. Looks like I missed something else in the Nether hub. There's no pillar going up to the top anymore, which is actually where I need to go. There's this down here. So you can get to the White District that way, and then to get back... Oh, it's a pressure plate. I didn't spot it. I thought it was string. Yeah, and then that sucks you upwards, which is cool. But I need to get back up to the hub, up the top. Maybe we'll throw... Oh, I don't have any ender pearls, do I? Great. Look at all those fancy little lights. That looks really cool from over here. And how we get from one place to the other is literally walking across the top of this place, by the way. And here I am, doing a big trek for materials. I come over, do a little bit of building... And I'm thinking, do you know what? These materials aren't particularly going well with the andesite and the sandstone that we've already set out. I don't know if forcing myself to use these blocks is a great idea, but this is what I've come up with. It looks alright. These textures go well together. But also, if we just remove some of this here, it looks good when it's offset 1 block back as well. And I've been playing around with a few different combinations here. For example, we've got the nether wart block there and some regular nether stairs, which sort of look okay. And I just don't know if I really want to do this right now, because these blocks are actually kind of expensive. Now, Rendog has done the hard work of exploring the Nether for the magma block, which we can't really use as a floor. Of course, it will hurt you unless you hold down shift when you're on it. These ones are probably the cheapest because they cost, you know, 2 nether warts and 2 nether bricks, but still, it's taken some time to farm up these nether warts. And the netherwart block itself is really expensive. Also the bone block, although I've got farms, this is the last of my bone meal. That's going to equate to just over a stack of these blocks. And if I want to decorate the area down here, there are lots of walls that need tidying up. And I think it would just be so much smarter to use the materials that we already have done. So I really wanted to make this episode about 1.10 and getting some of these new materials while we also finish off this farm. But at this point, I don't really think it's bringing too much to the game here. So we're going to say goodbye to these blocks, believe it or not, and I'm going to try something different over here. And so we go for something simple, clean, and not particularly impressive. I mean, very simple combination of blocks right here. Very Mumbo style, actually, with the slabs and the sandstone. But it's pleasant and clean to build with. There are a few little bits of details just here, but nothing really fancy to talk about. So down in this area we have a very yellow floor, and then behind the walls where all the andesite goes around there is yellow as well. At the top we have stone and a ring of stone slabs, which you can't really see until I like climb up and around. So we'll make ourselves a little pillar like this, and there you go, that's the roof. So just leaving in the stone, keeping things nice and easy, and I do believe that's the entire room sorted out. So now we get to move on to the next one. We're going to take the same theme and apply it to the entrance that we got up the top there, which from down here we can't even see. So this is now done as well, and I thought we had one more thing to do, which was the floor, but then I went, do you know what, the stone looks really nice here, and this kind of looks like a temple interior to me. Feels like these corridors could just wind off in all sorts of directions. So we repeated the pattern we had on the other side. We've got lights up above, and this is it, and the stone is here to stay. I think it looks real cool, and the lighting in here is very nice as well. Then at the end we got our portal and a little gap because I have some supplies back here which I need to think about moving all the way back to my base. So I've got a couple of chests worth of stuff down here, and then up top we've got loads more chests as well. But anyway, now we get to move on to the really fun stuff, which is on the other side in the Nether with all those animals. We've got to, of course, create a collection system for them and all that kind of stuff. So let's hop over there and see how many animals we've collected. So our plan this episode was to get the passive mob farm done, and it sort of is because it's up and running thanks to the redstone, but there's more that we need to do out here. Like, we've got to build up the walls, and I'm thinking about this build theme right here. I reckon we should use this as our Nether tunnel. I really like how these blocks look. They might not be quite the same in the Nether, but it just sort of occurred to me, oh, we've come out here again. That's really, really disappointing because I did all that testing, and then when it comes to actually using it, it stops working. I don't know. Maybe I'll move this portal around a little bit and get it to work. So yeah, we'll have that portal, or sorry, that tunnel design leading up to this portal. Then we're going to have a window on the other side, and I don't think we're going to have time to do that stuff today. And then we're going to have a collection system for all of the items that we'll get from these guys as well. But the thing is, how are we going to kill them? It's going to be quite cruel, whatever we do. And my thinking was perhaps using some dispensers with lava in. We put them down at the bottom, we press a button, activate them, and have some hoppers down below to pick up all of the cooked drops. But in the future, we will also be doing more here because these horses, I want to tame them. This is one of the reasons we're actually doing this, and we'll need some sort of horse separation system because I would like to get horses from this. As we can get loads and loads of animals and just, you know, keep all the horses, this is really difficult to move around in. Look at this. Yeah, basically we can get loads and loads of horses and we can keep the good ones, right? The ones with lots of health, the ones that can jump high, and the ones that can go fast. That is sort of a long-term plan here. And now I've got to do the cruelest thing in Minecraft again, which is slaughter all these poor little animals. Ah, wow, look at this. All the pigs and chickens are sort of caught underneath the middle, and the reason why is because the mobs are nudging one another, but they're nudging those ones into the middle because they're the only ones that go down there, so they got sort of get trapped in that little area, which is unfortunate. I'm also going to try not to hit the horse, but it's probably going to be quite difficult. Okay, I've definitely gone overboard here because I've managed to butcher all the horses as well. The sweep attack in 1.9, I keep forgetting about it. And check out my inventory. So, you know, a massive amount of food, mutton, some wool as well. That's another thing I'm pleased about with this farm, is that we'll get lots of wool from it. That's cool. Some eggs, some feathers. Yeah, just so many good things coming from this farm. That is absolutely crazy. Some of them there getting killed with the sweep attack, so no cooked drops. Anyway, as I go to build this, I'm thinking it won't be long before we rip this out and try and build something better. What we're definitely going to do though is put a blocker in the middle here, and I'm going to say it now, we're not decorating this room, not decorating anything on this side. What we're going to make is temporary, and I want to put dispensers here, and I want them to only blink with lava for a second. If we don't, you know, instantly put out the lava and bring it back again, it's quite likely we'll end up destroying drops and things like that. So the lava is only ever going to be in this row over here, which kind of makes this a bad design, so to speak, at this point. Or maybe what I could do is perhaps funnel them. Well, I guess the horses aren't one wide, are they? So it's going to be an inefficient system, but let's just get it up and running for now. Man, this portal sound is driving me slightly mad. I also tried moving the portal over here down a little bit. Anyway, wired up this, so let's stand here and get ready to turn around. Just like that. Man, that makes like a crazy sound. I think they changed the bucket sound in 1.9 and it is really cool. Yeah, so now what we've got to do is kind of test this with some of the animals. Actually, what we've got to do is put in tons and tons of hoppers as a collection system. But there are other players online, so very likely we're not going to get to test this today. However, I am going to get the farm up and running while I'm on the other side, chopping down trees, using the last of my iron to make some hoppers over here. We're going to have 2 rows on this side, 2 rows on the other, and then I guess we'll have some chests over here, like a little collection area. But we need to seal all of this off, so I don't know quite how that's going to work. Might have to move this around or something. So yeah, not much to do now, and then this thing will be finished and functional. Definitely more things to do in the future, but it'll be working for now. Man, that sound be driving me mad, but check it out. We got our hoppers in place, 2 rows of them on either side, and other people are on, and will probably be on for a while. So I think I'm going to wrap this one up and hopefully... Now, why would I do that? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, hopefully in the next one, what would have happened is I would have had the opportunity to AFK and sort all of this out. But yeah, nothing's come through. There was nothing here before I placed the hoppers either, so no animals at the moment. And yeah, this thing is kind of ready to go. Just need an opportunity to AFK and get some animals coming through here. And there is one other minor change that I made, so while we just have a chat at the end of this video, I'm going to scroll through? I'm going to go through to the other side. Stroll. I think stroll was the word I was looking for. Anyway, at the beginning of the video I talked about download a little bit. Again, if you're interested in that stuff, the links are in the description box down below. And the thing that I did, by the way, with this room is I never made an on-off switch, and it is extremely easy because there was a redstone block above this piston. Now there is just a lever next to it which we can turn on and off. I believe it is off at the moment, which means the farm is on. There it is. Yes, we can see it in action. So We did a lot this episode. As always, I was hoping to do more. That's just how it goes. But that is it for this one. Hope you've enjoyed the project. It's technically finished. We will be improving it as we go. And it looks like there's a little bit of a bug with a portal there to my left. Huh. Anyway, if you've enjoyed it, leave a like. As always, thank you so much for your support. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.